The night hung thick over Vesper City, like the aftermath of a forgotten dream, and in the shadowy corners of its alleys, whispers danced among the brick walls. Flickering neon signs cast wavering light on pavement slick with rain, illuminating the figures who dared to traverse the underbelly of the metropolis, where the air smelled of fried street food and unresolved ambition. Elliot Grayson wasn't afraid of the dark, but tonight he felt an unusual shiver run down his spine. Clutching his leather jacket tighter, he darted from the warmth of the pub behind him into the thickening gloom. He was on the hunt for something extraordinary, a currency, as elusive as a fleeting shadow, called dark coin. It wasn't just any currency, it was the people's coin, whispered about in hushed tones and spoken of in hopeful dreams. And he had a plan to find it. The crescent moon embossed on the face of the coin shimmered in his mind like a beacon, a promise of wealth and freedom from the suffocating grip of traditional finance. Dark Coin was built on the Algorand blockchain, a decentralization project that offered anonymity, security, and a hint of rebellion against the establishment. It was the heartbeat of those yearning for escape from the corporate machinery that chewed them up and spat them out. Elliot, a once promising tech entrepreneur, turned cynical after a series of failed startups, now found himself driven by the thrill of this digital treasure hunt. He navigated through the alleys until arriving at a dimly lit courtyard, where graffiti artists transformed jagged walls into vibrant canvases. The air buzzed with anticipation, and Elliot could feel the pulse of something larger than himself thrumming beneath the surface. He stepped back into the shadows, hiding from the flickering glow of a fire pit, where a group of 5 gathered, their faces obscured by the smoke curling toward the sky. "Tonight's the night, boys," said a voice that danced with enthusiasm. Elliot recognized it as Rhea, a fiery spirit who had become something of a legend in these underground circles. She was notorious for her knack for navigating the dark web and deciphering the algorithms behind decentralized currencies. "I've got the coordinates! We need to move before the cops catch wind of us." Elliot leaned backward, straining to eavesdrop while maintaining his cover. Rhea continued, her excitement infectious. "The stash should be hidden near the old observatory. If we can get our hands on that stash of dark coin, we'll be able to fund the next wave of our revolution." A deep voice cut through the night. "And what if it's a trap? This is not some treasure map from a kid's movie, Rhea. We're dealing with real money and real stakes." This was Marcus, a cautious soul whose skepticism often clashed with Rhea's brashness. Elliot felt a surge of determination. He couldn't let this opportunity slip away. With a determined breath, he stepped into the flickering light, revealing himself. "I'm in," he declared, and their startled faces looked back at him, surprise mingling with recognition. "Elliot!" Rhea exclaimed, breaking into a grin. "I figured you'd be lurking around here. Perfect timing. We could use your tech skills for this." Marcus raised an eyebrow, skepticism etched across his features. "What do you know about dark coin?" "Enough to know it's the future," Elliot shot back, his excitement surfacing like bubbles in carbonated soda. "And I've got a lead on where it might be hidden." The group exchanged glances, contemplating Elliot's sudden appearance. Finally, Rhea waved him in. "All right, let's hear it. But we must be quick. Midnight's approaching, and the moon will be our only guide." As they plotted their course, Elliot could feel the thrill of adventure crackling in the air. He described the old observatory, a decaying relic of the city's once glorious past, standing like a forgotten sentinel. They had to move quickly, and so they darted out of the courtyard, a motley crew of dreamers on a quest for fortune. The streets stretched before them, a labyrinth of shadows and secrets. Elliot led the way, guided by fleeting memories of a time when he'd visited the observatory as a child, enchanted by the stars and the stories they held. Rhea's laughter echoed through the night, a reminder that despite the darkness, joy could still be found in reckless pursuits. As they approached the observatory, the structure loomed overhead like a giant ghost, its once proud dome now crumbling, encased in vines and broken glass. The air grew colder, a shiver of foreboding prickling at their skin. Elliot's heart raced as they squeezed through a gap in the rusted gate. Inside, dust motes danced in the moonlight that filtered through cracks in the ceiling. The scent of mildew hung heavy, but beneath it lay something electric, potential. They gathered in a circle, their phones illuminating the space as Elliot recounted the tale he had pieced together. There's a hidden vault beneath the floor. If we can crack the code, we might find the stash of dark coin. Rhea's eyes sparkled with mischief. Let's unleash our inner treasure hunters. They split up, searching for clues among the debris of old telescopes and star charts. Elliot's fingers brushed against a weathered floorboard, and he felt a shift beneath his feet. A trapdoor? He knelt down, pushing against the wood until it creaked open. The scent of damp earth wafted up, mixing with adrenaline. "Guys, over here!" Elliot called, and the group gathered around, anticipation bubbling in the air. They lifted the door with a concerted effort, revealing a narrow staircase leading into darkness. "I'll go first," Rhea said, her voice steady. "I'm not afraid of the dark." Down they went, the air growing colder with each step. Finally, they reached a dimly lit chamber, its walls lined with metal shelves. In the center, a pedestal held a sleek black box, the insignia of the crescent moon gleaming in the low light. Elliot's heart raced as he approached, feeling like an archaeologist unearthing a long-lost treasure. "This is it," he breathed, his fingers trembling over the surface. "This is dark coin." Rhea grinned, her excitement infectious. "Let's open it." Elliot fumbled with the latch, and as it clicked open, a low hum filled the room. The box opened to reveal rows of glimmering coins, each bearing the crescent moon insignia. They were beautiful, but something about them felt ominous, as if they were imbued with the hopes and dreams of every person who'd ever longed for freedom. "Now what?" Marcus asked, a hint of apprehension in his voice. "Now we distribute it," Rhea declared, anticipation bubbling over. "We take these coins and spread the word. We'll be unstoppable." Suddenly, the ground shook, and a low rumble echoed through the chamber. The walls trembled, as if awakening from a long slumber. Elliot's heart raced. "We need to go, now." They scrambled up the stairs, the tremors intensifying as they reached the light. Outside, the night sky was fractured with bolts of lightning, illuminating the chaos around them. They rushed through the courtyard, adrenaline fueling their escape. Once they reached the safety of the streets, breathless with exhilaration and fear, they turned to each other, the reality of what they had just accomplished dawning on them. "Did we really just do that?" Marcus asked, eyes wide. Rhea laughed, eyes sparkling. "We did. We're part of this now, part of something bigger than just ourselves. The people's coin is finally in our hands." Elliot looked at the coins in his palm, their weight heavy with promise. The dark streets of Vesper City felt alive, infused with potential. As they lost themselves in the night, a sense of unity blossomed among them. Together, they would carve a new path, echoing the whispers of hope that had guided them through the shadows. The crescent moon shone brightly above, a symbol of their journey ahead, as they vanished into the depths of the city where darkness transformed into something wondrous and new.